Hi guys, it's Kiyako here, and I am back with another speed build. This speed build was kind of improv, kind of on the fly. It was a bachelor's apartment is kind of what I was going for. This is kind of a large bachelor's apartment. I kind of imagined it as him being incredibly wealthy and having very good sense of style. So that's kind of what the theme and the vibe of this apartment was a wealthy bachelor who knows, how to decorate, how to make his home look good. And yeah, that's just kind of what I was going for. I use this custom content flooring I've actually never used before because I usually use that wood flooring from the Eco Lifestyle pack because I just love how it looks. But I don't know, I was using it a lot, so I just kind of wanted to try something new. So I used this custom content wood instead, which I feel like ended up looking pretty good. I went with this dark navy blue wall, which I felt, went with the, what the apartment was. I felt like a young bachelor would have this deep blue wall color. It's kind of moody, but really, it looks really sleek to me at least. And here I'm setting up the kitchen. I actually end up changing the wood grain of these counters later on. I just kind of felt like this light pinky wood didn't really go well with the other furniture that I chose later on, so it ends up changing. But the rest of the kitchen stays the same. I put some shelves over there, and then I was just decorating with little, glasses and kitchen things, and that little pot up there I thought was really cute. I thought he would have, definitely martini glasses and that kind of thing out, to entertain guests and stuff. And then I put a little coffee corner here, because I imagine him as being very kind of workaholic type, a guy who has a lot of business to do, so he has his morning coffee from his little coffee corner area. Set up this counter with some bar stools, which I thought looked really nice. And then on this wall, I was trying to figure out what to do, and eventually I just ended up putting a clock there, you'll see in a second. I've had this problem in the past where I never know where to put clocks, but in this build, I felt it actually went well there, and I was surprised that I actually liked the clock placement because I usually don't. But here I'm moving on to the living room. This is relatively a large apartment for one person, but again, I figured he's this, wealthy young man, and, he has the money for this kind of place is what the story in my head was. Set up that little chair in the corner, which I thought was really nice. It comes with a matching footstool, which I just adore. And here I'm just, adjusting the chairs, making sure everything is aligned the way I like it to. Put in some pillows just to soften it up a little bit, because, this is his living space. I didn't want it to be all, intensely business and designed, He lives there. Here I am changing the wood grain of the counters and the cabinets. I thought that dark, more caramel toned wood looked a lot better. Just kind of with the walls and with the furniture, I just thought it looked better than that really light pink wood. Put in a coffee table with matching wood grain, that little flower pot, which I thought was really cute. And put a little book there, like a coffee table book. It has a man in a suit across the cover, so I thought that was relevant. Here I am choosing a rug. Ended up going with this one because I like the dark blue on it, just because it matched, the walls. Here I'm just choosing a console for the TV. Ended up going with that wall-mounted flat screen. And here I am just putting in some books, decorating it up a little bit. I use that box with files a lot in this build. I just really like the colors, and I feel like, I don't know, it just went with the tone. I put this plant here on the corner you see in a sec. Where is it? That one in the little basket I thought was really cute. And then on the edge of this console table, I put that hanging plant. Well, not hanging plant, but the leaves go over the edge of the table, which I thought looked really nice. I put a little side table on the side here. I thought the white was a nice little touch, just to reflect the white of the media console table. Here I am putting in another side table, a credenza, I guess. And then I ended up putting a painting above that. I really like that painting. Again, it just has the tones of the dark blue and the cream color and the white and the black. It just is totally with the color scheme, so definitely had to put it there. On this side, I put a shelf, and then I decorated it with various things. Put that painting there, and then here I am going in with some books, just filling it up. Shelf decorating is always really fun for me, but also like simultaneously really stressful, because sometimes like I'll spend like 20 minutes on a shelf and be like, oh man, this looks terrible, then I have to restart. This one was pretty good. I was actually pretty happy with how it turned out. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of videos about shelf decorating and like the best way to do it. And the secret apparently is to just, it's apparently a secret in a lot of interior designing, which is just, making, how do I explain this? Like making areas of shapes, like balancing and just putting things into groups, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I was trying to do. I don't know if I explained that right at all, but it's also the same principle in like graphic design where you just try to group things. I feel like I'm really not explaining this right. But here I'm putting in some outlets and like a vent in the kitchen just for, a touch of realism. Put that painting there, I ended up changing the color of it. And then we put in some curtains, just for some privacy, just to tie it all together. I also don't really like the windows of this apartment, so I just wanted to cover them up a little bit. Here I'm setting up the dining space. I really like this table. It's just so simple, and I love the wood color. I can't believe this is not a base game table. It's so simple and pretty, you'd think it would be, but no, I had to get this through custom content because EA could just not give me a simple table that I liked. Here I'm putting on some wood plate things. These are a new piece of custom content that I got recently. Never used them before, so here I'm just decorating the table, seeing how it looks. I don't know why he'd have his table constantly decorated, but I don't know. I was kind of home staging at this point. I'm just kind of going with the vibe. I'm putting some other details there. I ended up changing that rug to, let's see, it's like a dark blue rug. Yeah, to that one with the dark blue on it. I thought it looked much more cohesive than the other one, which is a little bit too modern for me. Or not modern, but a little bit too, what's the word, simple for me. I just wanted a rug that was more interesting. Put a mirror here that I believe I switched. Yeah, here we go with the painting, then put these lights on the walls just to, draw attention to it, make the walls look, more full, nicer. Here I'm decorating this marble side table with some sculptures and, books and stuff. This is a very fancy apartment. Again, in my head, I just imagine him as being someone who's very attuned to this kind of thing. He's a very fashionable, very stylish person. And yeah, put in a mirror there. I really like the shape of that mirror, it's so interesting. And then on this side, I put a little shelving area. And then I just, pop that painting on top, and then I just decorate the shelf with some books. It's kind of a random place for a shelf, but I didn't want to just put paintings along this wall, so it was a nice alternative. Then put a plant there. Underneath it, do I do that here? Yes. I put in a cat bowl, for water and food. I didn't really imagine that he had a cat, but then I wanted to put something here, so I just ended up going with that. So this is the point in which I decided that he had a cat. And then I put a little scratching post there, again, to fill up the space a little bit more. Put in a rug by the door, just, there's a little doormat, place to wipe your feet. And then over here, I put a radiator, and a mirror up above it. Just, so he can, check his hair on the way out the door. I had this staircase that had some space underneath it, so I decided to utilize it with this nice leather bench thing, because I've been wanting to use this in builds recently and just haven't found a place. This seemed like a really nice spot to put it, so he can just sit down, tie his shoes on the way out the door, and it definitely just goes with the theme, with the look of the interior design. I turned this little bathroom into a half bath room, half bath. Put in toilet, sink, a mirror. Didn't go hardcore on the decorating of the bathroom, just wanted to keep it pretty simple. I ended up changing those colors to black instead of white. I just thought the white looked a little bit weird. And then put in okay, maybe I did go a little hardcore on the decorating now that I'm looking at this. But put in a towel on the side and a little painting and a rug and then a trash can. Moving upstairs, this is a 2-bedroom house with a 1.5 bath, so this is the full bathroom upstairs. Putting in some decorations. That Calvin Klein bottle, it was perfect. It's like a Calvin Klein, men's face wash or something. Put in some towels there, put a towel on the wall. And then I put the, what is it called? The toilet roll holder on the side. Little hand towel thing there, and then some paintings on the wall here. I put the same rug as the one downstairs, and I thought it looked great, so just ended up going with it. I never used this bed before, actually, but the wood grain matched, and I thought that it went really well with the look of the interior design. So it was great. I finally had an opportunity to use this. Been waiting for it. Put some lamps on the side. Those what are they called? Side tables that are attached to the bed frame are actually, the mesh actually works as shelves, so you can just place things on there. I didn't need to use cheats or anything for that. So that was great. Put in some curtains, painting, lights on the wall, a plant in the corner just to soften up the vibe. Went back downstairs for a second, I don't know why, and then I went back upstairs. Here I put in a little, what is this, an armoire? I don't know what you would call that. A chest of drawers or something like that. I don't know. That's where he keeps his clothes. Just decorated that, put a little box of files on the floor, because he keeps files on his bedroom floor, I guess. Used that same mirror from downstairs, because I just love it so much. In this corner I put in a little reading area, because I thought, damn, if you have windows like that, like I would love to read in a corner like that in the natural sunlight. It'd be absolutely beautiful. And then I put a, what did I put here? A painting, and then I believe I put the little cat bed there. Yeah, so he sleeps in his room with his cat, which I thought was really cute. I turned this other bedroom into an office space, because I figured that he works from home and he's a very, very busy man. So I thought he'd have a really cool office space. So here I'm just decorating it. Putting in some files. Yes, that is a Dell computer with an Apple Home device thing. Just ignore it. It's okay. They're cross-compatible in this world. Here I'm putting in a painting, just decorating up the space. I really like that shelf. It's from, I don't know what pack it's from, actually, now that I'm looking at it, but I do love that shelf. It's so great, and EA didn't go crazy with their colors like they usually do, so I actually use it a lot, which is great. Put in a little filing cabinet, because I figured, you know, it's an office space, he works, he's gonna have files. Then put a little plant on the side that hangs off the side of the filing cabinet, which I love the way it looks. Put a plant in that corner, a calendar over here. I'm just decorating the walls. I ended up putting a little, like a magazine holder underneath it. And then over here I put in some paintings, or a painting, I guess. Yeah, I really like that painting a lot. And then in this little space, I just had some room, so I was like, okay, maybe it's like a little chill space. I just put 2 chairs here, and a little side table, or maybe it's like a waiting space where people who would like need to talk to his office just like sit outside and wait for him. I don't know, I mean, it's his personal home, so I don't think he would have like reception, but I don't know. It's just a little chill talk space that takes advantage of that empty room. And I believe that's the build, yeah. So here are the screenshots. This was really fun to make. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.